Well, if we're looking at each other right now, then I imagine you're here for a reason. Because you've spent money and time and energy to be here in this moment. You're here for a reason. And I invite you to bring that reason up. Get present to it. Why are you here? Why are you willing to invest your time, your money, your energy? Why are you willing to dedicate yourself to whatever else is coming in this moment? Why are you here? And then I'm going to give you 5 invitations, but they center around this piece of why are you here? So my first invitation number 1, is to open yourself to the possibility that you're not here for the reason that you're here, that you're not here for the reason that you think you are. You see, being an exponential coach, being an exponential leader is about playing a different game to the game that's played out there in the world. So invitation number 1, I invite you in this moment to open to the possibility that you don't yet know why you're here. And if you are willing to open to that, then we get to set the stage upon which magic can occur. Because if you don't know why you're here, and I definitely don't know why you're here, then who knows what we can get to create. Are you open to that possibility? Are you open to the possibility that you don't yet know why you're here? And if you don't yet know why you're here, then let's play together as you watch these modules and I get to talk to you and we get to interact with one another. Invitation number 2, I invite you to listen for insight and not for agreement. Most of the time out in the world, we're listening for agreement. I took a taxi here today and the guy was listening to Donald Trump on the radio and some of the commentators, and he was saying, I agree with this, I don't agree with that. And that's how we listen. Listening for insight has a different texture, a different flavor. When you listen for insight, it's like you're listening to music. You don't listen to a piece of music and say, I will like that note, and I don't like that one. You let the music flow over you. You get present. I'm not attached to being right. Some of the things I say you might love, and some you might hate, and some may have no impact whatsoever. The key is to listen for insight. Your insight, not mine. I can share with you, and I will share with you some cool tools, some cool new ways of thinking. I'll challenge the way that you think. And then you get to go away and pause and slow down. We've deliberately made these video clips as short as possible to give you a chance to turn off, to not look for information, but to seek insight. And insight comes from the inside out. It's in the word, right? So listen for insight, not for agreement. Listen with a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. I'll illustrate those 2. I have a fixed mindset about dancing. You can either dance or you can't. And you can, and I can't. And whenever I'm on a dance floor, I know you are looking at me, and you are watching me, and you are judging me. And every time I step on your toes, you are angry with me. So I stop dancing. I take myself off the dance floor. I don't offer, I don't volunteer. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to look silly. I don't want to be judged. I never had that around coaching. I never had that around entrepreneurship. I never had that around leadership. I just got that you have to be willing to make mistakes. You have to be willing to screw up. It's okay if people judge you. It sometimes hurts, but that's the nature of the game. It's okay to fail. It sometimes hurts, but that's the only way to seek success, is to be willing to fail. My invitation is that you approach this entire program from a place of a growth mindset. I hope you screw up. I hope you fail. I hope you make mistakes. Sound funny? No, because that's the only way we ever learn. Listen from a place of a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. Listen for distinctions. You'll see I tend to teach in distinctions. The more distinctions you have around life, the more mastery you have, the more power you have. I don't have many distinctions around wine. It's white or red, it's expensive or cheap, it has a cork or it has a screw top. Or it has a beautiful picture on the bottle, in which case I tend to buy it. I have very few distinctions around wine. I don't have much power around wine. My friend's wife, she's a sommelier. You could be paid hundreds of thousands of dollars if you can taste a wine and know not just the vineyard it comes from, but the year the grapes were plucked from the trees. Distinctions give you power. Listen for distinctions. I've already given you two. Listen for insight, not for agreement. Listen for a growth mindset, not for a fixed mindset. When you have more distinctions around your world, you have more power. When you help your clients draw out the distinctions they have for their world and create new ones, they have more power. And listen deeper. Listen between my words. That's the gift we give our clients, not listening to what they're saying, listening to what's not being said. This program is called Being an Exponential Coach. So it's my being that you're listening to. When you hear a story, no matter whether you've heard me tell that story before, you've heard that story out in the world before, listen to the deeper context, because that will shift everything. And there you go. 5 invitations, and now you get to play. You can hit pause and go on to the next video immediately if you choose, or you can take this and go for a walk and reflect for a moment and take a breath and then another. Because it's in that space, the space of breath, the space of being, that everything can shift. I can promise you this will be a life-changing program. How? Because I coach around insight. And the moment you have an insight, your world changes. There is no going back. I'll give you an example. Have you ever seen the FedEx logo? We've all seen the FedEx video. But in this moment, I guarantee that some of you watching will know what I'm talking about immediately, and some will have no idea. Look at the picture of the logo. Can you see the arrow? If you can, you see it immediately. If you can't, you'll be wondering, what the hell is this guy talking about? And then if you keep looking for long enough, there'll come a moment when you go, oh, I see it. And I've done this in a room with hundreds of people. And it's like, if I hold on long enough, more and more people go, oh, I see the arrow. And there are always some who, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't see it. And at some point, I'll point out, look, here's the arrow shape between the letters. And they go, oh, I get it. And from that moment on, their life has changed. Because you cannot see a FedEx truck with that arrow without seeing that arrow once it's been pointed out to you. That's what happens when you have an insight. Your life transforms. I promise you, this will be a life-changing program because it's based around insight. And I promise you this, an insight without action means nothing. An insight that you take action on will shift everything. So at that point, it's over to you. At that point, it's over to you to take that insight and bring it out into the world. Take that insight and turn it into action. So I'll give you one more distinction before we finish this piece. Put perfection to one side. Action tops perfection. Be willing to screw up. Be willing to make mistakes. As I told you earlier, I hope you do. Be willing to put action before perfection, and everything will shift. I'm glad you're here.